sausage and mash and gravy, Yorkshire pudding and roast potatoes. Eat your veggies by the bunch, listening to Mez's Sunday Lunch.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Mez's Sunday Lunch. I'm here with Mez. How are we today, Mez?
I'm all right, mate. I'm all right. Looking forward to the old Easter bunny.
Exactly. So this is a little bit early. I know people at home might be worried that we've jumped the gun a bit, but the episode after this will be coming out after Easter. So we thought better to get in early than be too late. So we'll be discussing all things Easter, bunnies, Jesus, crucifixion, and chocolate. You excited, Mez?
Yeah, I mean, I've never really celebrated Easter, but I do like chocolate. So, you know. But my main question is, I don't get it because, like, eggs and stuff. Rabbits don't lay eggs, do they?
No, not that I know of. I think it is rabbits don't lay eggs. That is a given, right? But I've never seen a rabbit give birth, so could do.
Maybe
Have you seen a rabbit give birth?
To be fair, no. It is on my list of things to check out. But I've never seen a rabbit give birth. But they don't lay eggs, which is weird because everyone buys eggs and then we celebrate the rabbit. That's what Easter's about, celebrating rabbits. Right?
Well, there's the weird thing, isn't there, with like everyone loves those Lindt chocolate bunnies, which is like an odd one because you celebrate the Easter bunny and then eat like an effigy of the Easter bunny.
Yeah, I mean, you know. But then, you know, we do that. If you're a fully blown meat eater, you do that all the time, don't you? You celebrate the chicken and then you eat a chicken. Like,
do you celebrate the chicken? I mean, this to me is the equivalent of like going to someone's birthday party and then like instead of a cake, they just have a big chocolate figure of the birthday person and you eat them. Which is a bit odd, isn't it?
That has actually happened to me before. I often request figures of myself made of chocolate.
Just because you request them doesn't mean they get made, Mez.
Yeah, well, I've not seen one yet, but you know.
All right, should we kick off with a song and then we'll delve deep into the Easter?
Yes, okay, so the first song I'm going to play is Heels by Billy Nomates.
Lift your boots till your head. I refuse to die looking like that. Well, I know there's a time and a place to be all that fully unconsidered. But I did just break down your door to be careless and deliberate. Because I felt like you weren't listening as you saw yourself in the moonlight. But I do not do heels. The climate ain't right.
So, Mez, you said you've gone a bit dance before we started recording. You said you've had a bit of a dance turn since we last spoke.
Yeah, in my mind I've gone dance, but then I thought I should play that song because it's on the airwaves a lot. And at the moment I'm jobbing some construction work and we've got 6 music on wherever we're working and Heels has been on a lot and I've been getting into the old into the grooves of it whilst laying parquet flooring. So I thought I should start with that because it's, you know, a nod to my week.
Of course, yeah, it ties in nicely. Anyone listening who's just started a band, it's always good to have a sideline. So Mez here has got parquet flooring. You know, maybe you could be a dentist or something.
Exactly. I mean, the money has got sparse in the old band account because of this thing called COVID. So just thought I'd go and lay some bricks somewhere, a bit like bunnies lay eggs.
Exactly the same. Parquet flooring made entirely out of eggs. Do you like Easter, Mez? Are you an Easter man?
Well, I like chocolate and, you know, I've always had an Easter egg. I've never celebrated Easter in terms of, you know, the rebirth of Jesus or the death of Jesus, whichever one it is, or is it both?
I think both. It's both, yeah. You get to pick which one you prefer.
You get to pick.
Yeah,
right.
Celebrate
Okay, yeah.
the death,
but,
celebrate
you know,
the rebirth.
We get bank holidays for it. And, Easter weekend for me is all about, you know, you get the Good Friday and the bank holiday Monday. So that's a good time to go out. There's often good gigs around Easter. You know, when festivals could happen, there was a lot of metropolitan festivals based around that. sort of time. So it feels like a good celebration for just seeing people, which would be very nice at this.
Did you ever do anything for it when you were a kid? Like, did you ever have Easter egg hunts or go to church?
Yeah, never go to church, but we did have Easter egg hunts. And what we used to do, my mum was. This was, I don't know if this is a thing or if this is a tradition that other people do, but we used to get an egg, as in a chicken's egg, put a little hole in the top of the egg and blow the egg liquid out, and then paint those eggs so they became like these eggs without the liquid in them, and then sort of like dangle them around the garden. I mean, I think everyone does that, but like,
I haven't done that, but I expected you to say something a lot weirder when you said, like, I don't know if everyone does this. That's normally the, like, entrance to some absolutely bizarre family tradition.
You must have blown the egg liquid out of an egg, and then
I haven't. I know that's a thing. I know it's a thing, but I haven't personally done it.
You paint them, you do like a smiley face on it, or you do, lots of like...
Yeah, well, I think like the original Easter eggs might have been like a hard-boiled egg, back in the tough times, hundreds of years ago. So you get the hard-boiled egg, you paint it, and then you eat its brains.
Hard-boiled eggs, I always used to call them boilers, because you boil them, don't you?
You do, famously. That is the main component.
It is one of those things where if you boil it, it gets hard, which... when you boil pasta, it gets soft. So it's different, isn't it?
It is. That's very deep. A deep insight from you there, Mez.
It's just an observation.
When you boil most things, they get softer. Eggs are a kind of an outlier.
What else do you boil that gets hard? You boil a potato, it gets soft. You boil pasta, it gets soft. You boil an egg, it gets hard. Which maybe is why. Maybe that's why eggs are a symbol of Easter, because if I'm right in thinking, the actual celebrations of Easter has pagan roots. And pagan roots meant it was celebrating the birth of spring and dawn and fertility. So essentially, boiling an egg and getting it hard is, celebrating the lavish sex rituals or full-on orgies of Easter.
Yeah, I mean, it's better than having a floppy piece of spaghetti, isn't it? That's not the right message at all.
You won't want to be flaccid, would you?
You wouldn't, and that's something we can all agree on, I think, at Easter time. Moving very quickly onwards from that, too quickly, some might say. What's your favourite Easter egg, Mez?
Oh, my favourite Easter egg. I do quite like mini eggs. The little mini eggs that you can get. Yeah. Cadbury's mini eggs. They're good. And if you can get, I've seen them on the shelves recently. I think you can get a giant egg with mini egg encrusted in the shell.
Yeah, they did those last year. That's good shit. That's what you want.
That's like Damien Hirst's skull, but instead of diamonds, it's laced with mini eggs.
An egg encrusted egg.
Exactly. So I'm probably going to go for that this year. Other than that, double decker, that's a win-win, isn't it? That's a good chocolate bar.
Although to me, I always hated growing up when you'd get one of the Cadbury eggs, like the double decker one, and like it's just a normal egg. Because as a kid, you're like, oh my god, this is going to be incredible. There's going to be like double decker in the egg, and there wasn't. And they've only very recently started doing that. So I think it's an overdue invention, the mini egg.
Well, I once actually talking about that. I actually did once hear that rumor, because you get a cream egg Easter egg, and the Easter egg is hollow. But apparently once there was a giant egg filled with the cream egg filling, and that was like a mysterious,
like an urban legend.
It was an urban legend. I never managed to buy that one, but I think someone else did.
That'd be too much, wouldn't it? That would definitely be too much.
It would be. I mean, what are you going to use to eat that? A straw and a spoon and a spoon.
You'd have to kind of prop it up somewhere. Like, you wouldn't be able to do it in one sitting. You'd have to kind of, lean it against the wall.
Do you even actually like cream eggs? Because I don't know about them. I'm still a little hidden.
I don't. I think they just taste like sugar. I don't not like them. Like, I'll eat one, it's fine, but I don't particularly enjoy it.
They are
It's not.
they are a random purchase. But yeah, I don't mind them.
What I do like about them is their commitment to looking like an egg. I appreciate that. You know, like the goo inside, which I don't particularly like. They even colour that so it looks like an egg. That's impressive, I think.
That is some good market research.
Which again, I think like there aren't many things other than eggs you could do that for easily.
No, you could not. You could not, man.
Well, Cadbury's, clever guys. Do we have another song while we think about cream eggs?
Well, talking about sort of like the pagan ritual of love and fertility, I thought, let's get on with this and play the KLF's What Time Is Love.
Bring the break. What time is love? What time is love? Love, 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 love. What time is love?
What time do you think love is, Mez?
Well, as a loving man, anytime.
Anytime. Even when you're asleep after a hard day's work laying parquet floors.
Well, yeah, because you can be dreaming of love.
Oh,
Love is omnipresent, just like God was supposed to be in Jesus, but then he died.
Well, he came. Well, we'll get on to that, I guess. The Jesus is. But first, a more important question. What is your favourite rabbit?
Ooh. What, fictional favourite rabbit? Or
yeah,
just...
I mean, any rabbit. I mean, I can't really think of any notable rabbits off the top of my head. There's a few, but not many. So whichever you fancy, really.
Oh. Well, there was Peter Rabbit, but he's
That's
not
true.
that good. He's not that good, really. Watership Down. I remember as a kid. Can you remember the original Watership Down?
A horrifying.
Now that is a scary film, isn't it?
Absolutely, like, I don't understand how that was allowed ever.
I think
that's probably the scariest thing I've ever seen.
It is scarier than any horror movie I've ever seen, and it's savage. But the rabbits in that, there's they're scary, and then you've got the good rabbits. So maybe a rabbit from Watership Down. What other rabbits are there?
Thumper, I guess, from Bambi. He's a good one, isn't he?
Oh yeah, Thumper from Bambi. What happens to him?
I don't know. I think he's fine though.
Is he called Thumper because he's got a big foot and he thumps?
Yeah,
Right.
it thumps.
Yeah. And then
which is nice.
Any other rabbits? There was an Easter film about the Easter rabbit, and I think that was voiced by Russell Brand. So
that doesn't sound good. That doesn't sound
I don't think
like
that
an
was
enjoyable time.
And the remake of Peter Rabbit was voiced by James Corden, so it was also bad.
Yeah. Why do rabbits get such a bad? Oh, the rabbit in Alice in Wonderland. That's a rabbit, isn't it? Famous
That's
rabbit.
A rabbit. Yeah.
Roger Rabbit.
Oh,
from Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Oh, now you're talking. I forgot about the old Roger. Roger Rabbit. No, that was a banging movie. They don't make
the old Roger.
Anymore. He was good. I'd say Roger Rabbit. You've took it out my mouth. I was going to say that, but Roger Rabbit is a solid entry.
You know what's good? I only thought of Roger Rabbit because the wonders of the internet. I just searched famous rabbits, and I'm now on an article for the 39 most famous bunnies of all time.
Yeah.
Like, the internet's a wonderful thing. Although one of them is just called Schnuffle, and I don't know what it is, so not that great.
Do you know what, though? Hares are cool, aren't they? They're kind of like rabbits.
Yeah, they're just sort of like longer, aren't they?
Longer and bigger. And you don't
stretched out.
You don't see them as much, so, that's an elusive rabbit, a mysterious.
Yeah, well, I think like you know, if you live in a hairy area, you probably see quite a few of them because they get quite frisky in the springtime, don't they? Start boxing each other.
Again, which links to my analogy that Easter might be a sexual festival.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think we're all agreed. It's a sexy time for the animal kingdom, isn't it?
Well, spring, the birth of new life, innit?
Exactly. You know. Plus that 4-day weekend. I mean, what else is that for?
Just absolutely hedonism.
Exactly. What do you normally do with your long weekend? Please keep it PG for the kids listening.
Well, if I was on the road, I'd be gigging probably. If not, then it's a good way of seeing mates, going out to the pub, if everyone can remember what those were like. Those kind of things. It's just it's a nice 4-day break.
What's your ideal? So this, I think, right, if you want to get the most out of your Easter weekend, what's the ideal schedule for like pubbing? Because I feel like if you go to the pub on the Thursday, that might wipe you out for the Friday, which is probably a good time, isn't it?
Yeah, so what I would probably do is I'd go Thursday casual, Friday all out, Saturday chill, have some food, Sunday all out again, Monday hibernate.
Yeah, that's probably the most pub for your buck, isn't it?
I do like going out when it's a bank holiday Monday. I like going out on the Sunday because it just feels unusual. Just feels like, hang on a minute, there's no work tomorrow.
Easter Sunday everywhere's closed, isn't it? I mean, not pubs, but I mean, like it's all like short service, so a higher risk of getting stranded somewhere.
Yeah, I mean there is that. I didn't quite factor that in, but the pubs are
nearby
open. A nearby pub that you can just walk back home to.
Yeah, that's the dream.
Back to your pad. That is the dream. And then bank holiday Mondays, because bank holidays are associated normally with going out or celebrating. Bank holiday Mondays are the ones that are normally quite reserved, or you go out for a walk or something, don't you? And you're like, I'm going to make use of this Monday because normally I'd be sat at a desk.
Plus, the best thing about a bank holiday Monday is like everyone's feeling a bit hungover. So like you know when you get a hangover at the wrong time and you feel like the world is doing things without you.
Yeah.
You know, like it's your birthday on a Tuesday, so you take the Wednesday off and you go too hard and everyone's doing stuff on the Wednesday. You don't get that with the bank holiday. Everyone's there, cocooned.
Bank holiday Mondays just generally have those lazy eyes, don't they? Those sort of like, yeah, we'll just take it in our stride, and everyone's on the same sort of platform there. So, you know.
Do you eat a specific Easter meal? Obviously, lamb's traditional, but I know you're not a meat eater.
Oh, is lamb traditional? I don't know. I was trying to think about this. Do people have traditional Easter meals?
Yeah, so I think it's just like a Sunday roast with a lamb is considered. I was
going to say Christmas Day is a Sunday roast essentially, and then New Year's Day often is a Sunday roast traditionally as well, isn't it? And then
I think it's like we're very unimaginative people. I think it's just always a Sunday roast.
I guess Easter Sunday is that tradition, but if you were going out, you don't necessarily want a big Sunday lunch. So
I think this is why, like, the Easter Sunday pub, like Sunday roast, must do a very good trade because start cooking a roast on a bank holiday weekend, you know.
Well, you combine them both, don't you, with going out and boozing and having a roast. I mean, I'm partial to a takeaway that weekend, I think, you know?
Yeah, I think. Treat yourself. Why not, Miz?
You know, just celebrate with a different type of food. Maybe have an Indian, maybe have, you know, some sort of like gourmet burger or something. Or some mushy peas or something.
A big plate of just mushy peas.
Exactly.
All right, let's have another song, and then I'm going to ask you a very important question about Jesus and the Easter Bunny. What have you got for us?
Okay, this is Wooloo featuring Lex Amor, South.
Right, are you excited for the big question?
I'm ready.
Who would win in a fight between Jesus and the Easter Bunny?
Oh, it's a tough one, that, isn't it? But, well, how big's the Easter Bunny?
I don't know. I think you kind of got to sort that out first, haven't you? And I think
Yeah.
it's very variable. But if he's carrying all those Easter eggs around, he's bigger than a normal bunny, isn't he?
Yeah, and he'll have like.
I'm thinking like 4 foot, probably.
I think the Easter Bunny's core strength would outweigh the magical powers that potentially Jesus had. So I think an Easter Bunny would win. The only thing is, Jesus has that thing where he can come back to life. So
Yeah, but it does take a couple of days, doesn't it? And if
Does
we're
it? Yeah.
talking like a boxing match, like they're going to count him out way before he comes back.
all right, so I reckon the bunny would win, technically. But
I think it kind of depends on environment, because if there's a lake nearby, Jesus just has to trick the bunny into the lake, and obviously Jesus will be standing on the water. He can walk on it, and the bunny's going to be drowning.
I mean, that is true. And
Can bunnies swim?
I don't think so, because I think their ears are a hazard.
Dragging them down. This show is just teaching me that I know nothing at all about rabbits.
Well, as soon as a bunny's ears, which are probably as big as its torso or bulk of its body, as soon as they get saturated in water, it's going to drown, isn't it?
Yeah, but it depends. If the ears stay, because some bunnies have straight ears, if they stay above the water, they could sort of be like a shark's fin.
I mean, that would actually be pretty scary. If you saw 2 ears just submerged in water coming at you. I wouldn't know what that was if I was being
Especially, this is a 4 foot at least bunny, so these ears are huge.
I mean, the bunny takes it all day long, doesn't he? He takes it all day long. The bunny is the
What does
master.
he take?
I don't know. He just takes the wind, doesn't he? He takes the wind.
He just takes it. He just takes it.
He just takes it. He takes the win.
So you think it's an easy win for the Easter Bunny? You're not
I
even
think
giving
so.
Jesus a look in.
No, I'm not going to give him a look in this time. He's had a lot of look-ins, and I'm not giving him a look in this time.
True. Yeah, he's had his day in the sun. Another question about the Easter Bunny. Why do you think he's so good at hiding things? I'm assuming the Easter Bunny is a bloke. I'm not sure why. Easter Bunny could be any gender, so apologies.
I mean, I think the bunny is good at hiding things because of the way they've had to live their life, which is essentially digging burrows. Now, I don't know many people who can dig burrows that easily. But if a bunny
You don't know how many people do you know that can do that?
Well, I don't know any. So if you're digging a burrow and you've got those kind of skills, then surely you're able to hide a lot of things because, you're working against elements that no one has seen.
Yeah, that's true. It would be annoying if you did an Easter egg hunt and it turned out they were all like 30 foot underground in a burrow, though, wouldn't it? Just all day looking for them, and it turns out, oh no, the bunny hid them too well.
Well, yeah, exactly. And do you get egg detectors like you get metal detectors? No, you don't.
Well, they're coated in foil, so maybe that'd help.
I mean, this is true, and maybe that is why the foil exists.
I can't imagine a 10-year-old child having too much fun having to dig a huge, deep trench to find an Easter egg.
I know. And, it's all about finding as many eggs as you can and then stuffing your face with them. That's all I remember from Easter.
We never really did. I think I
Petition,
seem to recall when I was like a really young kid.
Well, if you were like doing it with a load of your sort of like family and all of your siblings and cousins and everything like that, and say like your mum or your nan or your dad or your uncle had hid all the eggs around the garden or whatever, it was who found the most, and you would go to all lengths at finding those eggs. And would you share them? Probably not. Probably not. I mean, I'm not talking from experience, but would you share them? Probably not. It's an Easter egg.
Did you do a lot? Did you do a lot of Easter egg hunts when you were a kid?
I've done a few, and I often found a lot of eggs.
Do you do them for your son now?
I mean, the last 2 Easters I have done an Easter egg hunt, and I hid them so well that he couldn't find them, and then in the evening I ate them all. No, I'm joking. But I did do an egg hunt for him, and he essentially ate them all because it was just me against him, and I already knew where I'd hid them. So,
yeah, it's kind of ruins it a bit, doesn't it? You can't
essentially
compete.
He ate 24 eggs.
What, full-size ones?
Just full-size 24 eggs.
What a sight, I imagine that was.
For a full, day and night.
That's good. That's impressive stamina. Did you ever believe in the Easter Bunny? So I remember when I was a really young kid, I actually did
I
believe
think
in the Easter Bunny.
I think I did, but then I believed in the Tooth Fairy as well. So like, I'm
Yeah,
probably
me too. But I think out of the three big ones, who, if any kids are listening, all exist, Santa is the most believable, and the
Yeah.
Easter Bunny is the least believable. Like your parents, like when you're like 4, are like, "Oh, there's a huge bunny that just like breaks in and leaves a load of eggs all over the place," and you're like, "Yep, sounds good."
Yeah, I bought that. But then I guess you're mainly thinking about the end product, which is the chocolate. So you're like,
Yeah, so maybe I never believed. I was just like, "Yeah, whatever, fine."
It definitely exists if it means I'm getting chocolate.
Exactly. You're just like, look, whatever makes you happy, just give me the eggs. Come on.
Yeah. But no, you're right. Probably Santa is the most believable, followed by what? The Tooth Fairy.
I think so. I mean, it's not high stakes, is it, between the three?
It's just a miniature person with wings, isn't it? I mean, what's not
Yeah, and I just feel like a miniature person with wings sneaking in to take a tooth. It makes more sense than a giant bunny jumping around down there throwing eggs about.
Yeah, I know. And giving you all of this sort of like sweet chocolate.
Yeah, which as we've discussed, it has no business even having. It doesn't lay eggs. It doesn't eat chocolate.
No. In fact, I've read that chocolate kills bunnies.
I imagine it would.
But maybe that's why it hides them, because it doesn't want its own
maybe
kind.
it's getting rid of them. It's got so many and it's just trying to shift them all.
I mean, the endless possibilities with a bunny, really, especially the Easter bunny.
But also, like, when you're a young kid, you're going to the supermarket with your mum, probably, or your dad, right? And you're going around in the trolley, and at no point are you seeing the Easter eggs for sale and making the connection that maybe it's not a giant magic bunny.
Yeah, I know. I mean, you don't, do you? It's just like, oh, I wonder if the Easter egg bunny's going to come in and get me that egg. all the time as well. Like, you'd go down that special aisle where it's just like wall-to-wall chocolate, and like your mum or your dad or whoever would be like, ooh, which one do you like the look of? Maybe the bunny will bring it. Maybe he will, or maybe you're going to buy it and hide it.
Yeah.
Either way, I'm going to get that chocolate. So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter.
Exactly. Let's have a song to celebrate.
Okay, well, let's go with Wrap It Up by Whitey.
You may well say, how could this happen to you? You may well ask, but you may not like the truth. Why is it always to you? Why is it always to you? Why is it always to you? Why does this happen to you? So don't get upset, don't make a fool of yourself. Don't lose your head, please get a grip on yourself. There's nothing worse you can do. There's nothing worse they can do. There's nothing worse they can do. There's only one thing to do. Get even. Get even.
Left field this month, Mez, you're right.
Left field, where the eggs are.
Is that where you always hide them? I have a question from it's actually from my girlfriend, who is Irish, and her family have a tradition which I have never heard of, and I'm wondering whether you have ever heard of, to see whether this is a tradition that her mum has just made up or whether it's a real thing, right?
I like it.
There's a tree in their garden, like a blossom tree, and her mum takes a branch from that tree and puts it in a pot and decorates it with miniature like egg ornaments and birds, like those little, those little chicks you can get, little fluffy.
Actual birds? What real?
No, the little like ornamental like fluffy ones you can get from like Smiths.
Yeah, I've seen them.
Yeah, decorates it with them, and that's the Easter tree. And she has that for a couple of weeks around Easter, much like you would a Christmas tree.
I have never heard of that, but that does sound good.
Yeah, this was my response, was I've never heard of it, but like I am quite into the idea. Like, if you're gonna do it, you might as well have like, because part of the fun of Christmas is like the house looking different, isn't it? The constant reminder that Christmas is there.
Yeah.
So maybe.
So is this tree that exists in your girlfriend's family house? Is it big, or is it just a twig?
No, it's normally it's not as big as a Christmas tree, but it's normally a pretty hefty endeavour.
So it's a centerpiece, should we say?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's the centerpiece of the room in which it's in.
I'm into it. It sounds good.
Yeah, me too. But it's not a tradition. It feels.
It's not a tradition I've ever experienced, but it is a tradition that I could get on board with and make it a tradition.
maybe in 10 or 20 years, it'll be the done thing. Anyone listening, if this is a thing that you do, please do let us know. We are at ReadDork on Twitter, or just find any of the Life Band socials and spam them with pictures of an Easter tree. I'm sure that's fine, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, I would love that. I would love that.
Another unrelated question. Did you give anything up for Lent, Mez? Because Lent is, of course, related to the Easter extravaganza.
Did I give up anything for Lent? Have I given up anything recently?
I feel like if you don't know, you didn't.
Well, I have. I've stopped smoking cigarettes in terms of like buying cigarettes. I haven't bought any cigarettes because I just thought I should quit that. So maybe I gave that up because it was expensive and also bad for you. By the way, smoking is bad for you. Whatever.
I've heard that. Yeah.
I mean, I've recently rewatched Mad Men, and you know that makes smoking look positively very sexy. But
yeah, although the first episode is basically them saying tobacco kills everyone. How do we pretend it doesn't?
Yeah, there is that, but then all the way through it, they're all dressed in like amazing suits or dresses, smoking. But yeah, I've given up that, so I haven't bought a packet of cigarettes since Christmas. So I guess that's a bit of an achievement.
Not really for Lent, though, is it? That's like a deeper commitment. You've just given that up in general.
Another thing, I haven't bought milk, dairy milk. I'm trying to get on the old oat milk train, and I haven't bought normal milk. So I guess I've done that. Just those little things. Those little things.
Oat milk's a good one.
Try, but never had, and now I thought, do you know what? I'm gonna give it a go.
Well, oat milk's a good one as well because it doesn't go off like normal milk. It's got a much
go off. I've had the same oat milk in my fridge for 4 weeks.
Yeah, it's got such a long existence, so you can buy like fuck tons of it, and then just like never have to worry about milk again.
Exactly. It's basically like can you remember what's that milk that you get? What's it called?
Oh, UHT.
Oh, what is that? Like that long life milk that's actually grim. But
the idea of it is grim, though, isn't it? Like if someone gave you like, a carrot, and they went, "Oh, I've done something to this carrot, so it won't go off for 6 months." You'd be like, "Well, I don't want it then."
Yeah, I know. It's definitely not natural.
Yeah. I've done something to this milk, which means that bacteria doesn't want to go anywhere near it. So, well, why would I want to go anywhere near it then?
Yeah, true. So yeah, I've given up those things. That's quite good. It's not necessarily
the smoking is impressive, though. That's a big one. Even if you're not a regular smoker, like that is a tough one to shake. So
no, I've always been really a social smoker, but then since lockdown, it was a thing. Lazily for me, it was a thing to pass time. So I thought it was getting to a point where I was buying probably too many cigarettes that I couldn't really afford, if I'm being honest, and it's probably bad for your health, which it is. So yeah, I've tried to knock that on the head. So I've not bought any, and because I'm not rehearsing or gigging as much, it's not been as much of a temptation, which is,
Plus, then when you go back to doing that, you're more used to not having them. It's the perfect time, really, isn't it?
This is the thing, and I think I've probably, I think people have done this, a few months before me, but yeah, it is the perfect time for it. But we'll see when the beer gardens open.
Yeah, that's the other thing. They're opening before
when everyone else just starts chain smoking again.
Exactly. Well, I have faith in you. Stay strong. Shall we have a song? And then we've got a few questions from other people that write for Dork, who have got some Easter-based queries for you, Mez.
This sounds good. Okay, so this is the excellent Ritchie Sacramento by Mogwai. They've just had a #1 album, which is pretty a decent effort, I think. So yeah, this is that Ritchie Sacramento Mogwai.
a pretty decent effort.
Well, it is, isn't it? Do you know what? Talking about that, like it's been refreshing to see that sort of like proper bands who have given their lives and careers to be in a band are getting number one albums again. So I think there was Mogwai 2 weeks ago. I think
Architects as well.
Yeah, and I think even Maximo Park have come out with sort of like
they were number 2, I think. Yeah. Although the thing with the Mogwai one to bear in mind is like the chart battle in quotation marks there was against Getz, who has been around for 17, 18 years in the grime scene. So he's kind of much the same deserving, I think. I think a lot of the stuff about Mogwai that was like I didn't like was people saying like, oh, well, they deserved it, thank God, as if like Getz didn't. Like he definitely did.
No, I agree wholeheartedly.
Plus, he drove a tank down Oxford Street, so.
Well, there you go.
But anyway, I digress.
I think Arab Strapper in the top 10 at the moment, which is another good achievement. So it's good. It's just good to see. It's refreshing to see sort of artists that have kept on going, getting that those top 10 recognitions again. So I guess that's why I played that one.
I think there was one thing that definitely during all this lockdown stuff that the album chart has got interesting again. There's been a hell of a lot in the past few months that just like, what? That's at number 2, number 1? Like the top 10 has actually been very good for bands. I mean, even going back to like Sports Team getting number 2, Fontaine's getting a number 2, Idol's got a number 1. Like there was some good stuff, some big stuff.
Yeah, and consistent as well. So and, that's only I guess that's one of the positives. I think we're consuming music a lot more rapidly at the moment, and albums are being listened to rather than playlists because we've got a lot more, I guess, time in our houses and stuff to actually. We're less on the move, so I guess that's a good way of people digesting the music. So I can only hope it would be the same for us when we eventually bring out our third album, which is probably. Still a few months away.
Well, we've got to do the solo project, the two of us, haven't we, Mez? First,
exactly.
Yep. The big. It's going to be a double album. Me on recorder and Mez on vocals.
Yeah. I was thinking of a bit of flute as well. Flute is
Just so you on flute and me on recorder. We're doing instrumental,
like jazz flute or some kind of flute or straw flute, something.
Panpipes, they're always good.
They're great.
Right, okay, some questions from dork writers and photographers. The first one is from our very own Jamie McMillan, who was part of the dork bowling team at Butlins.
Yes, bring it on.
So Jamie says, if you came out of a cave after 3 days, what's the first thing that you'd do? A reference to Jesus, obviously, coming back to life.
So if I came out of a cave for 3 days, and what had I been doing in the cave?
No. So if you came, so you die, you go into the cave for 3 days, and then you wake up and you come out. What's the first thing that you're going to do?
Probably take a shit.
But you haven't eaten anything in 3 days.
No, true. Maybe definitely need some kind of lubrication on your body, so a bit of showering wouldn't go amiss. And then probably, get myself a nice little hamper.
Oh, yeah.
I'd go and buy a hamper, I think, and treat myself. I've been in a cave for 3 days. I've probably been eating a lot of sort of stone dust. So
you want some sort of nice jams, some preserves?
Well, not jams. I'm not really a jam person unless they were chutneys, and I do like a chutney.
So a sort of savoury hamper.
A savoury hamper, yeah. So it would be,
cheeses and chutneys.
Cheeses, chutneys, some beers, a bit of nice artisan bread, and then
nice.
Yeah, I'd go and look in a mirror as well, probably, just to see what I look like.
See what's happened. See
what's happened after those 3 days in a cave with no light, and then just crack on. Then back to normal.
Yeah, I think Jesus could learn a lot from that. That seems quite a rational response.
I mean, it is the only response.
It is, yeah. So another question we've got here from Jamie Muir, who co-hosts the Down with Boring show with me. He has said, if an Easter egg could be any other food, what would you have? And he's given the example that he would have a Easter egg made out of Yorkshire pudding filled with gravy.
Ooh, that is good, but this, you would like, I mean, how are you packaging that? Because
Yeah, that's my thoughts. And it would be cold,
it's
right?
going to get
Cold and soggy.
It's going to get soggy, and then the gravy might set. But I do like, I like the idea behind it. If it could be presented to you like a Yorkshire pudding on a plate with gravy is.
Maybe it's like the Smarties ones where the packet of Smarties is separate, but you can pour them in the egg. So you get like a sachet of gravy and the egg's got a little hole in the top, and you can heat the gravy up and pour it in.
I mean, that would be good. I reckon for me then, I would have a cheese egg. So it'd be a really good, solid cheddar egg. And then you crack into it and there's a load of mixed nuts.
That's good. I like that.
Do you know what I mean? A bit of cheese, a bit of mixed nuts. Maybe if you were feeling real fancy, stick some olives and sun-dried tomatoes in there instead of the nuts. And just
I'm into that.
Go for the old Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's kind of like the main course to the dessert that is the normal egg.
So a nice savoury egg. Definitely savoury. All the time savoury. Ooh. You could have an egg made out of pizza slices. It's like
would the toppings be on the outside or the inside?
Well, that's the thing. So it would become a calzone, wouldn't it? But in egg shape. So the inside would be different fillings and different toppings, but the outside is just this perfect stretched dough. Stretched Orby dough. That would be good.
That would. Both of those sound good. The pizza one sounds particularly good, especially because as we're recording this, I haven't yet eaten dinner and it's the evening. So the pizza egg is calling out to me.
I mean, that is the one really, isn't it?
Okay, this one is from Martin, who writes for Dork. He does in our sort of online chat room thing for the magazine, he does a writers list each month where he ranks the writers. And since your column, Mez, you've been at number 8 on the writers list.
What's how many is in there? Don't tell me.
He does a top 10, but there's more than 10 people writing for Dork, so you're in the running. Considering you've only done a small column, that's pretty good going. I thought you'd be happy.
3 small columns, mate. I'll take number 8.
You'll take it.
I'll take that.
Well, I'll let you know if it changes. But anyway, he's asked, that was just an aside. He's asked, do you think the Easter Bunny has a kind heart?
I think so.
Yeah?
I think so, because at the end of the day, all he really wants is to see a little child with a smile on his face eating an egg. Even though he hides them, that's just educational, isn't it?
Yeah, so he's not hiding them out of spite or malice.
There's no malice there. He's not coming down the chimney to sort of like pry on you. He's, hiding an egg for your own pleasure, but making it harder, which is educational. So yeah. I think he's got a big, kind heart to go alongside his big ears and big feet.
And lovely bushy tail, of course.
Exactly. A nice little cotton tail.
Well, that's pretty conclusive. I think we can agree the Easter Bunny does have a kind heart. And one final question related to that is from Liam, who was also on the Dork bowling team at Butlins.
Yes.
Liam has asked, have you ever dressed up as the Easter Bunny for your son or in general?
I don't think I've ever dressed up as an Easter Bunny. I once dressed up as a bumblebee when I was selling books.
Of course, because bees famously love books.
Yeah, well, they do, don't they? It's the, you know what they say, literature is like honey. So...
I love that you and I don't know if I've ever dressed up as the Easter Bunny, but I was once a bee. It begins with B. Come on, what more do you want?
No, I worked at a bookshop in Hull. It was a discount bookshop, actually. And on my first day, they were like, yeah, we've got a bee outfit upstairs. You need to go out into the shopping precinct dressed as the bee and sort of entice them into the shop. I guess like bees go to pollen, The pollen was the book.
Yeah, it seems like a pretty loose reasoning behind the bee.
I have no idea why it was a thing, but yeah, I dressed up as a bee. It was a pretty good good-looking bee, to be fair. But yeah,
Maybe you could incorporate that into your stage show when you play gigs again.
maybe that is the new era of life. I'll just come on as a bumblebee, just
Mez Bean.
exactly.
I think it could work. Or the Easter Bunny.
Well, either. Maybe I'll just rotate.
Well, do an outfit change halfway through the set.
I mean, many artists do, don't they? Many artists do. Let's be honest. But yeah, I've dressed up as a bumblebee. I've never dressed up as a bunny, I don't think. What else have I dressed up as?
I enjoy that you're not sure if you've dressed up as a bunny. I really enjoy that you are saying, look, I'm a fallible person. I can't confirm that I haven't, but I don't think I have.
I can't confirm that I've ever dressed up as a bunny. But I have dressed up as many things, but I don't think one of them was a bunny.
Okay, good to know. All right, shall we have a final song before we bid adieu?
Okay, so this is Glowing in the Dark by Django.
Now we're glowing in the dark, 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 the dark. Now we're glowing in the dark, the dark, the dark, the dark, the dark, the dark, the dark. Now we're glowing in the dark, the dark, the dark, the dark, the dark, the dark, the dark. Now we're glowing in the dark, the dark, the dark, the dark, the dark, the dark. I lay awake at night, it's gonna melt my mind up. Your eyes will radiate, they're gonna lead the way up. It starts to emanate the space between.
There we go. Another Sunday lunch boxed up and ready to send out to the needy people of the world. So Easter is actually, when is what? Two weeks away? 3 weeks away?
Is it the first week?
First weekend of April, I think, yeah.
So it's not that far off, really.
We probably should have looked this up before doing the Easter show, but clearly neither of us did, so...
But, you know...
But anyway, everyone have a good Easter when it comes. Dress up as the Easter Bunny, give up smoking for Lent. Remember that the Easter Bunny has a kind heart and could take Jesus in a fight with no contest. This has been Mez's Sunday Lunch. See you next month.
I'll see you next month, man.
If you've got sausage and mash and gravy, Yorkshire pudding and roast potatoes, eat your veggies by the bunch, listening to Mez's Sunday Lunch.